It's David Hartzband, and I do my consulting work through my company Post-Technical Research. In terms of commercializing technology, the only way I've been able to do it is early on you find another company, a larger company or a different company, or a group of people who are actually going to be using the technology. The direction that you go in is very influenced by who you pick as co-development partners. So, for instance, in a startup that I was CTO of in San Francisco, we actually co-developed the product with UC San Diego Medical Center, and their needs were very important to us as we developed the product. Came to generalizing that, we had a good basis because we could already point to UCSD Medical Center and to the VA in San Diego and said, can you use the product just the way it is? Do you need additional development? So that's been very successful 2 or 3 times for me. If it's a large-scale distributed system to do healthcare information sharing. I know a lot about large-scale information sharing, but you need that healthcare partner. I know a lot about other kinds of software things, but you need the subject matter expert partner. And that's really the only way I've been able to successfully commercialize technology that I've developed. So, Dave Hartzband again. So I'm actually a mathematician. I've done a lot of basic research in math and did a considerable amount of work on trying to extend our understanding of Hilbert's second problem. You can't get much more research than that. Particular kinds of logics that were then applicable to distributed software development in that they allowed you to partition software in such a way that you could be dealing with different types of reasoning in each partition, just one kind of logic, trying to figure out an optimal strategy. And I actually have been working on a similar kind of strategy now in unsupervised machine learning, which could be very interesting. So it's very possible to do that. The core of it really is to be able to have a piece of the research that you're doing that is directly applicable. You know, Hilbert's second problem is not something that anyone is going to commercialize and actually make a product about. But the fact that some of the logic that was applied to that was directly applicable to how to optimize distribution of information in very large-scale systems, that really was the trick, seeing that. So it's quite possible to do that. I think you just have to be careful that you don't emphasize the research. And the other thing that I think is a problem there is people that are primarily doing research and trying to commercialize it. My experience is you can't build a company on grants alone. I've had companies, in fact, the company that I have now that I'm no longer associated with other than on the advisory board, the first $3.5 million that company took in were in federal grants from ARC and from the Department of Commerce, from NIST, and from a company that is primarily aimed at meeting grant requirements to a company that's actually building a product and doing marketing and commercialization. So if you are research-oriented, if you are trying to convert some piece of research into a product, then you really have to move away from grant funding and from academic funding at some point because, again, at least in my experience, you're just not going to be able to succeed doing that.